Hey, I shouldn't be telling you this, but if you skip this part of the video, you will miss out on the deal of a lifetime. If you click the link in the description, you will see that Atlas VPN are giving out an offer to get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 per month. That's less than Netflix's latest price increase. Plus, it comes with 3 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN on the market, and you can use it to watch shows that are not available on streaming services in your country. So you can watch Friends on UK Netflix, no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a subscription to Netflix. You can even use it on unlimited devices, so everyone in your house can watch Friends on UK Netflix at once. And they keep your searches private, so that we'll all finally stop spying on you. But remember, time is of the essence if you want to get this offer. Just $1.83 per month to get a 3-year subscription by clicking the link in the description below.
Am I the asshole for not giving my wife who doesn't work more pocket money? I, M27, can't help but feel like an asshole about the situation, and my wife, F23, has been calling me an asshole the whole week. Meanwhile, our close family are taking my side and friends are split. I for one don't see what I can do. For context, we live in Europe. The issue is the following. My in-laws halved the amount of money they give my wife each month, and she wants me to make up the difference out of pocket. For it to make sense, I have to explain our finances. I am a medical resident, my pay is shit frankly. But it doesn't matter, because I have real estate properties and make a decent amount of passive income from rent. My wife does not work, because she is still in law school and her time is full between that and taking care of our son, 2y. So here is the situation. 20% of my income goes straight into our savings. This I will not budge on come hell or high water. About 40–60% goes into household expenses. This includes the nanny, housekeeper, food, gas, electricity, and my wife's school expenses. The percentage varies each month OFC course, but lately due to the war all these expenses have risen, so it's always on the higher side. The rest of the money is split between my wife and I, but not evenly, and here is why. Before we even got married, my wife had an agreement with her parents. As long as she stayed in law school and kept her grades high, she would receive minimum wage from them, so that she didn't have to work and could focus on school. When we got married, I promised to give her half of what her parents gave her each month. This way our monthly pocket change would be roughly the same. This agreement has worked for the past 4 years. Unfortunately, this midterms her grades dropped. They're not terrible, mind you, but her parents have high standards, so until she can get her grades back up in February, they said they'd halve her monthly pay. I kept the amount I give her the same. Essentially, she receives minimum wage now. My wife has asked me to increase how much I give her to make up the difference. I refused, and I still refuse. My income didn't magically increase in a month. I pointed out that she had an agreement with her parents and me. That her decrease in her money is a result of her actions. I upheld my side of the bargain. I told her she will just have to deal with a little less personal money for a couple of months until she can get her grades back up. I'm 100% certain she can do this. She maintained this isn't fair and that as her husband I should take care of her. She said I could just lower how much I keep to myself or raise the rent since I already rent under the market price. I told her I am not raising rent and leaving people homeless in these uncertain times, and that if I give her more from my own side I'd almost have nothing left for myself each month. I really wish I could give her more, I do, but I can't magically make more money, and I think I deserve a little for myself as well. In my opinion, her receiving minimum wage without working is enough. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I felt bad until I read nanny and your wife's school expenses. Frankly, she's an adult and she's lucky her parents and you are giving her anything. There are people out there studying, looking after children and still have to work. What does your wife need the money for if you're paying for everything else? I felt bad for the wife's full plate until you said nanny? Not the asshole. You never said you would pay her more if her parents would drop off their agreement. You are not a bank, you cannot just create money out of thin air. It's pretty rude of her to say that, as a husband I should take care of her, when you are already doing it. And you are right, you should have money for yourself. If giving her more means none for you, that's unfair. Not the asshole. This feels like a very good example of first world problems. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter she's lucky I treat her as my own? I 44F have 2 children with my husband, 2, boy and 3, girl, and a bonus daughter, 18F, Emily. My stepdaughter has been living with us for 6 months this past year. She moved in because she told us her mother kicked her out since they didn't have a good relationship and her mother said she was too problematic. Since her moving in, I've been very welcoming and I've spent more than enough money to help Emily get on her feet. This includes work shoes, comforter sets for her bed, hair products, clothing and underwear. We told her that she could live here as long as she needed, but since her moving here she's become a burden to both my children and my children and I are used to a regimen of waking up, spending time with my husband, him dropping them off to daycare and he goes off to work and when he gets home, I cook, clean and we spend the rest of our night with the kids. My stepdaughter has become a burden, she has become entitled and whenever she needs anything financially she will ask either myself or my husband. When I bought her work uniform, she kept the job for 3 weeks and then quit because she didn't like her co-workers. She has taken most of my savings, taken the time from my children to my husband and used that time for herself and had been extremely unappreciative for what I've done for her. I told her she needed to figure out a living plan because she is 18 and a legal adult and that she needs to start adulting. She mentioned how she was in school, online. And I told her that wasn't enough since there are more hours in the day and she can do more than just be lazy all day and use her computer as an excuse. She told me that I am jealous of her relationship with my husband and I reminded her that she's living in our home rent-free. I told her that she should be lucky that I treat her as my own because not everyone would do such with their stepchild. Editing for info. My husband thinks I am wrong for saying this to her and that what I did was harsh, but I don't see how when she is 18 years old and she is grown. You're writing the narrative, but you still come across as the ah. First off, since school isn't enough for her to do, why aren't you telling us about your own job? Because from the sound of it, you're a SOM but without the kids, so just a SAHW? Also, it easily sounds like she worked at a toxic workplace, which is especially common at chains where uniforms need to be bought. What do you mean with, taken the time from my children and used that time for herself, so she's being social with you guys? And out competing a 2- and 3-year-old for attention? You believe that yourself? Also, not everyone would do such with their stepchild. Except everyone who would want a good relationship with the child's partner absolutely would treat the stepchild like that. You are the asshole. It's harsh because she isn't taking time away from his kids, she is his kid. This is something dad needs to handle. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for leaving my baby shower early and causing a scene? Ta account. My 32F husband of 7 years, 32M, and I are pregnant. We have one previous child, Anne, 6F, fake name, who has epilepsy. She has had one seizure before, relevant later in the story. And #X200B. To be honest, my mill is horrible. She gives backhanded compliments, insults me and my looks and always tries to set my husband up with other people. The last time we went to her place she said she could make my husband a Tinder account, or set him up with some girl who is the daughter of Mill's best friend. My husband has told her to stop, but doesn't do anything else. Newsflash, she doesn't stop. And #X200B. When sending invites to my baby shower, I told my husband I didn't want my Mill there. He told me, since you're not letting my own mother be in the room with you when you're giving birth, you have to invite her to this. You should be grateful that you get a baby shower at all. Also, he wouldn't even be at the baby shower, as he has something at work. And #X200B. At the baby shower, I was telling everyone how our baby was once again a girl. My Mill then decided to say, wow, another girl. Let's hope she's not like her sister. I asked what she meant by that and she said, we don't need any other diseases in the family. Imagine seeing a newborn baby drop to the floor and shake everywhere. It's embarrassing. At first I was honestly confused as she clearly had zero idea what she was talking about. But then the pregnancy hormones really kicked in and I started crying hysterically. I left my friend's house and my mother drove me home. And #X200B. Once I got home I saw my husband there. I didn't know why he was home and not at work, but I just didn't stop crying. He said, where are all the gifts? You do realize how expensive some baby things can be. I honestly couldn't believe he said that of all things, so I decided to lock myself in our bedroom. And #X200B. About 10 minutes later he tells me he got a text from his mother explaining what happened. He told me that I caused a scene, and should be happy I got to meet up with some friends today. I tried explaining how wrong what she said was and how she insulted our daughter and unborn baby. He said, well, Anne's epilepsy medication isn't cheap, so I see why she said what she said. You just interpreted it wrong. Apologize to my mother. I packed a bag and called my mother to pick me up. I'm currently at her place and she's picking Anne up from school. My husband and his family keep blowing up my phone and calling me a drama queen, along with other hateful names, so I need to ask, am I the asshole? Edit. Wow, this blew up. I woke up to 700 new notifications, so thank you all for your feedback. Just wanted to let y'all know that I am meeting up with my husband later today and we will discuss things. I will be showing him this posts and your comments. Also, thank you all for the kind messages and the awards too. However, I don't know what they do, lol. Can someone please explain them to me? Thanks. See you soon. Update. Okay, so I'd like to start by explaining my username. My friend, who hosted the baby shower, suggested the name as a joke. When I showed her the kind things y'all said, I also asked, why do people think I'm suicidal? So I'd just like to say I'm not, and my friend apologized if we worried any of y'all. Okay, now to what happened. All of you were talking about how abusive my husband is. I guess I never realized it was abuse just because it wasn't physical. I don't know why I had that mindset, but I did. I sat him down and started reading. Your Mill is horrible, divorce this man, Anne doesn't deserve this, etc. I explained to him that I wanted a divorce. We were in a public cafe, so I knew there was no way he'd physically hurt me. This was how the conversation went after I said I wanted a divorce. Husband. So just because a few strangers on the internet told you to do something, you're going to do it? Me. It's not a few, it's thousands. Husband. It doesn't matter who it is. You don't even know them. Me. Well, you don't know the chefs in restaurants yet you trust them to cook your food. Husband. Shut the fuck up. Me. It's not my fault, all you do is run to mommy and choose her over your daughter. Husband. I don't give a fuck about you or your opinion, you fucking bitch. Me. Ha, okay. After that he stormed out of the cafe. I think y'all would be glad to know that I emptied our joint bank accounts and took any valuables. Y'all might think, oh, that's a happy ending to the story, but there's way more. So my Phil contacted me, which is weird, we only talk at family gatherings and whatnot, and told me he apologizes on behalf of his wife's actions. He told me that she never liked me because I stole him away from someone called Melissa. Apparently my husband and her were together during college, but she cheated on him. Mill, however, still loved her like a daughter. Turns out, all these years we've been together he's been cheating on me with Melissa. Mill knew. Phil knew. Everyone knew. It explains a lot, like why he wasn't at work that day. What actually happened was Melissa came over to our house and they had sex in my own bed. I was disgusted hearing it. I'm not sure how, but she must have left before I came home. So basically Melissa told Mill and Mill told Phil. Phil said he regretted not telling me sooner and kept apologizing over and over again. I was shocked and started crying. I thanked him for telling me and said I just needed some space. However, he also told me that Mill was telling a different story to what happened on that day. None of my soon-to-be ex-husband's family was there, so they didn't know what happened. And that's why everyone was telling me to apologize to Mill. Mill told them that I started yelling at her for wearing a better dress than me on my special day, and I threw drinks and food on her. She made a mess of her dress previously, so I'm guessing that's what she used as evidence, lol. Phil said, the woman really loves herself. In a couple of days I can guarantee you we'll have another picture of herself hanging in our living room. I laughed and said goodbye. I've also gotten a lawyer to sort out some divorce stuff. I'll give y'all another update soon. Heart. You are in an abusive relationship and you need to get the hell out of it immediately before it does irreparable damage to your children. Editing to add. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Marinara. Flags. Everywhere. Location flag, location flag, location flag. Mill clearly didn't pay a lot of attention in biology class now, did she? Not the asshole. You're exactly where you need to be and soon your daughter will be with you. Turn off your phone and get some peace. Info. Where are all the gifts? You do realize how expensive some baby things can be. This was his response upon seeing you crying. Should be happy I got to meet up with some friends today. Are you not able to see your friends? You should be grateful that you get a baby shower at all. Does your Mill have something to do with your baby shower? Let your husband know that you will be NC with his mother for the next year. Get the fuck out, girl. Oh my god. Am I the asshole for eating ice cream directly out of the tub? I'm currently staying with my in-laws. Before we came to visit, my mother-in-law asked me what pregnancy cravings I was having because she wanted to make sure they had them for me. I mostly crave chocolate fudge brownie ice cream and they bought a lot of it for me. I was eating it directly out of the tub since it never lasts more than 2 days max and nobody else was eating it as far as I was aware. My mother-in-law's goddaughter has been here for a few days now too and she saw me eating the ice cream from the tub and told me I was being gross because somebody else could have wanted some and I should use a bowl instead of just eating it directly from the tub. I told her I was going to eat it all anyway and she accused me of being greedy. I started crying because we kept arguing over it and she was making me feel awful. My husband saw me crying and was furious with her. My mother-in-law has been trying to smooth things over between everybody but my husband is still angry at her and she's still angry at me because she thinks I cried on purpose to make him angry at her. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. I will be in the minority here. I find it really confusing and insulting that pregnant women aren't expected to act like adults. Like I think we should be readily forgiven for not being considerate when we are growing a whole human in their body, but I don't think that we get a pass from acting like considerate adults. You are putting your germs in a tub of ice cream. It's not that hard to use a bowl and spoon. Eat as much as you want, but give someone the option to have some if they want. You can't help the tears because your hormones are haywire. But you can just move on from this and use a bowl. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I have to disagree with most people. I'm gonna say not the asshole because that ice cream was bought specifically for Op. Mill asked what she was craving and it was that specific ice cream. If goddaughter or anyone else wants some they can request it too or go get it themselves.